It's Wednesday, you know what that means. It is time for this week's live weekly event from Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, the Hong Kong Island Grand Tour. This, of course, valid up until the 8th of January. The Solar Crown is heating up. This week's straight racing is taking over the streets of Hong Kong Island with the grand reward of the HKI, the Hong Kong Island t-shirt. Interesting reward, but we've got our weekly event, guys. We knew we were coming back here this week for our latest edition, and it is, of course, 2025. A very happy new year, one and all. What have we got in store then? We have got the Streets of Fury. 3.4 mile sprint race, 100% asphalt. This is, of course, a stormy nighttime race, daily driver Grand Tourer category, restricted to rear wheel drive with a minimum RP of 400. So a little bit of a variety there, daily driver or the Grand Tour category, but it's going to be wet. Now this race here I think is absolutely fantastic, the Alex 7 Special. 7.2 mile domination, foggy nighttime, it's probably going to be wet, 100% asphalt across the daily driver, Grand Tourer, supercar category, once again rear wheel drive with a minimum RP of 600. But this is a interesting touch here, the Alex 7 Special. A fantastic content creator putting out a lot of content on Test Drive Unlimited. Katie and Nacon giving a little nod there to content creators, giving positive test drive content. Absolutely fantastic. I love to see it. As for the categories, daily drivers and Grand Tourers I don't imagine are going to get used here. Most folk are going to go with that rear wheel drive supercar, given that it has no max RP. The last race for today, however, we will move over to the right hand side of the map here as we zoom in to the Night Fever circuit. 3.2 miles, will be 2 laps on a stormy night, 100% asphalt. Now this time's interesting, the Alfa Romeo, BMW or Dodge restrictions. So it's going to be a limited, car class that we can use here, Alfa Romeo, BMW or Dodge, but it's going to get interesting what we can use. But we are of course in 2025, guys. A very happy new year to you all. Going to have a big focus this year. I want to build this channel as big as I can possibly do it. You guys have given some fantastic feedback. You seem to be enjoying the videos, and I thank you all for the support in the latter part of 2024 from September when I started posting content on the Bryson 6 channel. So thank you guys very much indeed. But we have seen some changes already coming into 2025, a little bit of exposure, perhaps a little bit of a different take on how content is going to come out here. But we'll head on first of all to the Streets of Fury race, the daily driver Grand Tourer rear wheel drive, minimum RP of 400 is the restrictions for this one. So we've got a little bit of a choice what we can go in with here. I've chosen to go in with the Grand Tourer, the Aston Martin that we did buy just a few videos ago, and I have decided today that I have obviously put on the stability control, rear wheel drive. This thing's got tons of power, tons of torque. Turned on the stability control to around about 50% for this race to try and get some traction in the Aston Martin. We'll launch it off the line, get through that little chicane to start off with there. It's a little bit unsettled, so take our time going through it. As we come down into our first hairpin corner for today, we do cut this one just a little bit early, a little bit of handbrake, steal some of the track back as we build our lead on the rest of the pack. Coming into our next left-hander, left-hand 90 is indeed. We don't really have to brake all too much, just lift, so we don't lose the back end coming through it. As we smash through the railings here, we don't lose any time taking out those railings. Round the right-hander, a little bit of a power slide, get the power down nice and early, an 8.4 second lead on the rest of the pack so far. Into our next hairpin here, this one's obviously quite a wide one. We'll get a little bit of a power slide going on, get the power down into second gear. As we come into right-hander, this thing does tighten up, so taking our time around that little right-hander just there. Getting the power back down though with a 9.2 second lead up into the next right-hander, into left-hander. I quite like this circuit, it's nice and tight, it kind of has a little bit of a feel of the tightness we have over in Ibiza brought to Hong Kong. As we do come down into the underground car park here, big right-hander, we could have been a lot quicker through there. I was getting a little bit unsettled as we just missed that left-hand pillar just there. I got a little bit unsettled coming down into the underground car park, not picking perhaps the best or the quickest of lines, but we've now came out of that one. We're back onto those wet road surfaces, taking our time coming back onto them so we don't lose the back end on the change of grip levels. Round the right, left-hander just there, don't want to go too fast, don't want to take out that tram stop, but we've managed to miss it and keep as much momentum as we possibly can. Through a little chicane once again, could have gotten the power just a little bit earlier there, but we've done all right, and we just miss out that central reservation, which would have killed all momentum we had there. We're managing this track, and I do say we're managing this track all right so far. This turn right here, I was trying to cut that one, then I noticed that the checkpoint was right on the apex of the turn, so had to compromise the turn I had there overall. As we cut back across the central reservation, we can see the Aston Martin is sliding right across that road there. We tried to be as careful but as quick as we possibly can be. Round the right-hander here, get the power down nice and early, second, third, up into fourth gear. Get ready for this right-hander that we do have up ahead, staying as far left as we can, cut across the central reservation, get nice and tight on that right-hand side, cut back across once again, trying to get the power down, but we can see the back end of the Aston Martin is snapping round on us as we come back into another hairpin, a little bit of handbrake there, get the power down, swing the back end of the Aston Martin round as quick as we can up into the left-hander. We probably could have took out those railings there, decided not to, and of course outbraked ourselves, locking up on the wet road surface. Round the right-hander, again taking out more railings. It's alright to take the railings out in this race, it's not going to slow us down at all. We're not far away from the finish line here, around about 9% left of this one. Kind of fighting with the Aston Martin. We can see just how unstable it really is, as we unfortunately do clip a wall there. Back into the underground car park, power down, left-hander up ahead here. We could be a little bit quicker through there, smash through the barriers, cross out the line. A nice easy win for race number 1 for today. I say an easy win, it was very slidey, guys. We were fighting with the car. But as we do head on over to race number 2, I do want to give a massive nod to Nacon, to KT, for what they have done with this race. Giving exposure to Alex7, a fantastic content creator. I do enjoy watching Alex's videos, but giving exposure to guys that are actually making positive content about this game. There's a lot of hate, there's a lot of FUD. We've of course talked about this down in the comment sections of many of the videos, and I think a lot of the negativity around the game is highly unwarranted. There's so many good things about this game. Alex of course talking about many of those, exploring the glitch that there is on the Ibiza map, exploring, you know, how to get to the hidden parts of the Ibiza map, etc. But lots of other good content he has been putting out, the Google Maps style videos, navigating where he was on Hong Kong to where it is on Google Maps. So I think it's a huge nod and a fantastic touch towards Alex7 as we do come over to the Alex7 special daily driver Grand Tourer supercar rear wheel drive, minimum RP of 600. Again, I don't think many folk are going to use daily drivers or Grand Tourers. They're probably going to use the supercars like I've chose to do here in the 2016 Ford GT. But one thing we could also take from this is it challenges us. Using a daily driver in this race specifically, it's going to give us a great challenge to see if we can actually keep up with some of the supercars. Might be something we explore in a later video, but we've chosen the 2016 Ford GT for this race specifically. Again, we can already see it is a wet race. All of these races today, guys, are going to be wet races. It's a domination race, so it's basically we just want to be first through every checkpoint as quickly as we possibly can be. We know it's going to be slidey. We've got the standard road tyres fitted to this thing. Not used the Ford GT all too much, but it is something I do want to start using more. As we come into our first big left-hander there, we do come in a bit hot. We do unfortunately touch that outside barrier. And then we can see as we do try to get the power down in the Ford GT, the back end is stepping away from us with the standard road tyres fitted. We know we've not got the high level of grip that we typically expect to have over in Ibiza. Coming back to Hong Kong, we're of course getting exposure to the rain and the wet road surfaces once again. The Ford isn't doing all too bad though, quite enjoying using it. Oh, we just lock up and lose the back end, lose the front end grip just a little bit. I thought we were going to smash into that wall, but we did manage to stay out of it. As we come uphill here, do we fully commit? We lift a little bit coming round that one, but as we can see, a 16.5 second lead on the rest of the pack. Coming round the left-hander, the lack of grip that we've got in the GT, we can see the back end is constantly trying to snap and twitch out on us, having to lift off, feather the throttle, coming round some of these faster corners. That one there, trying to get the power down nice and early, the back end trying to step out, guys. Take your time with this one, have fun, because it has been a fantastic race so far. Coming round the left-hander, still trying to get this power down, and the back end is constantly wanting to step out on us. I thought we were going off track there, but we've managed just to hold it on as we slow down for the right-hander. Big right-hander there, we can get the power back down now, a little snap of oversteer, but We've got the power down here, we're flying down the hill, coming onto the brakes nice and early. We don't want to lose it, we don't want to go wide there into the bushes, and we've got a little snaking right, left, right coming up just here. We want to slow down just in time for this right-hander, keep it nice and tight, but try to get back on the power nice and early as we come downhill into the double left-handers. And we've got a little bit of an interesting section here. It seems like this part right here hasn't been blocked off for the race. We can see that we're not on the race route, but perhaps a little bit of a shortcut there to save ourselves maybe even 5 or 6 seconds instead of having to go around that right-hander. Yeah, so keep your eye out for that one, guys. A little bit of a shortcut on this freeway section. I believe this is a bit of a freeway. Whatever it is, guys, there's a little shortcut. Save ourselves a few seconds. As we're about 70% of this one, we've not got all too much left, about 15% or so left of this race, and things start to tighten up. We've got to be a little bit more careful with our braking zones, trying to get the power back down, and the Ford not wanting that back end to be snapping out on us all too much. Round the big left-hander, get the power down nice and early, fly this thing downhill. We try to push over to the left-hand side to get ready for this big right-hander here. We do lift once again. We can see just how much the back end of the Ford is snapping on us as we try to get the best racing line possible. The back end completely stepping out on us there as we try to get the power down, guys. I'm pretty sure if you haven't done this race yet, you're going to have tons of fun with this one. I'm enjoying, you know, some of the wet weather racing. Being over in Ibiza, we don't have wet weather, so coming back to here in a rear-wheel drive car, it's tons of fun, guys. It challenges us to be the best driver in-game we possibly can be. A little shortcut on that chicane just there, cutting across the curb. With just 5% left of this one, come downhill into the right-hander. Again, try to get nice and tight to that apex, get the power down nice and early, try to stay off that central reservation, but cross the line once again for first place, and another relatively easy win. Although the race itself is quite difficult, a relatively easy win for the Alex 7 Special. And I just, yeah, a massive nod to Katie and Nacon for giving the exposure to Alex 7 for all the work that he does put out lots of content on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Maybe in 2025 I might get my own race. Let's see what happens. The channel's not big enough for that one yet, but we'll push forward, guys. We'll continue to try and grow it on that one, guys. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, support the channel. Let's get this channel to grow. I would really appreciate you guys supporting me in 2025 to grow this channel as big as it can be. But lastly here, we will head on over towards the dockyards for the last race for today. And this race poses something very interesting. It's a bit of a spoiler for the video that's going to come out this Friday. But the car classes that we have, or the car brands that we have for this one, is very interesting. So we head on over to Night Fever, the 2-lap circuit race, of course, wet, 100% asphalt, Alfa Romeo, BMW or Dodge. Now with it being wet, of course, having 4-wheel drive would be beneficial for this one. The Dodges and the BMWs, we already know, mostly, if not all, rear-wheel drive. So for the spoiler for this one, guys, is we've chosen something with 4-wheel drive, and it is the Alfa Romeo 4-Scene Celine Edition, covering everything you guys would want to know about the Celine Edition 4C this Friday, so stay tuned for that video where I do give out the tune I've also built for this one. This car is absolutely ridiculous, possibly one of my favourite, if not my favourite car in game. This thing is phenomenal. We can see just how quick this one will fly around a circuit with its short wheelbase and its 4-wheel drive. Perfect displacement, perfect weight placement in the car, and the power to weight ratio. This thing is frighteningly quick. Very agile. We can get the power down as early as we want. We can power slide it through the corners. The braking, I don't think another car in game brakes like this car. Cannot speak highly enough of it. If you haven't invested in this car yet, guys, I would highly recommend spending some money investing in the 4C, as we do lose the back end just a little bit there. I think this car is ridiculously good. Over to the race though, we can see that we are actually having a lot of fun with this car, although setting a very fast time. Use the handbrake, flip the back end of this car around, get the power down nice and early. No real need for first gear in this race, I wouldn't say. Using second gear is enough. We're going to have a lot of wheel spin with the standard tyres and the ridiculously wet road surface. But you're going to have tons of fun using the 4C, smash through that barrier, take out our mandatory lap post as we push forward to cross off lap number 1 of race number 3. Locking up just a little bit there, we go wide on that last turn, one of the last turns it is, before the last back straight here, as we come back through the warehouse, double right-hander here, a little bit of handbrake, get the power on nice and early, big power slide round to cross the start-finish line and cross out lap number 1. Through the first left-hander, taking a little bit of curb, getting the car unsettled there, we get the power down. Through the right-hander, cut across just a little bit here, again get the power on nice and early, let the back end of this thing swing round on us. Through the double left-hander, here's again getting brave, let the back end just slide round on us, get the power back down nice and early. This thing is frighteningly quick around this track. A big power slide round that right-hander just there, power down once again. It's just frighteningly fast just how good this car is. It's so fast, it's so agile, it's very, very grippy considering the road surface, and we can have tons of fun doing it whilst also setting a good time. Coming out of the multi-story or the underground car park, I thought we were just going to miss that checkpoint. Turns out we just caught it, which is fantastic. Come up through here, right-hander, a little bit of handbrake, power down nice and early, let the back end of this thing just swing round, and it's a big power slide round the right-hander, left-hander, right-hander, into left-hander. This track is just fantastic. What an addition for this weekly event. Cut across the path just a little bit there, into the left-hander again, stealing a little bit of path, getting the power down, and letting the back end of the Alfa Romeo fly round on us. We took out that lamppost in the last race. We are a little bit messy to come around that right-hander there. As we come up to the left-hander, are we better this time out? We are. We still go quite quick around it, but we don't outbrake ourselves as we push forward through the little warehouse here. We know we've got that right-hander. Can we be a bit tighter this time out? We can. Big power slide here as we do cross the line, take out another win. Easy wins in this week. This week's live events, guys. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy them. A nice touch there. Only 70 points required. A little bit of confluence there with Alex 7 and 70 points. I like to see it, and of course we have got that grand reward of the Hong Kong Island white t-shirt. I would have liked to have seen this being an Alex 7 t-shirt, or perhaps an Alex 7 reward, a sticker or something. Would have been another nice touch there. But as we can see, we did actually set quite a good time in Alfa Romeo, 3:11. I'm actually going to spend some time on this race today. I'm going to go back and try and improve that. I believe we could get that race under 3 minutes. Let me know what kind of time you guys do in the third race, which is Night Fever. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the content we put out in 2024. As we're getting a bit of a stutter here on the screen. Hopefully that's gone now. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the content throughout 2024. There's going to be tons more content throughout 2025. Thank you all for your support. If you haven't already subscribed, please do smash the subscribe button. It'd be fantastic to have you guys support me throughout 2025 as I continue to try and grow the channel, put out as much content as I can, hoping to do most of it around Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Perhaps we will move over later in the year or whenever it gets released towards Assetto Corsa Evo. There's a few games I do also want to move over and test out, but I want to have a big focus on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, be one of those positive content creators for this game, try and suppress the FUD that certain individuals are putting out. I'm not going to give any of them the time of day, any exposure. So yeah, guys, thank you for the support. Look forward to more content in 2025. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, tap on the bell, give a couple of comments, whatever it is you guys want to do. Stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.